Prepare for battle.
Thank you to the expert panel for providing us with top-tier analysis and insight into the draft, per usual. We've got game number 2 here. Should be a good one. I'm Zyori, again joined by Cap as well as Purge. Boys, how we feeling coming into game number 2?
I mean, I don't know. It's usually nice to have the analyst desk be able to break down the draft for you, but I think the analysis pretty much was subbed up to like. One of them might as well have said like, I think Monkey Business they have a 50% chance to win. You know, you either win or you don't.
I actually really like the Monkey draft though. I feel like all 3 of their lanes are stronger. They'll have Lich Undyne in the off lane. They'll have a Jakiro zoning and Earthshaker in the safe lane with Jug free farming, and the mid is a Shadow Fiend versus a Quap. So like their aggressive dueling could go bad, and if that happens, then Nip's gonna be in a good place. But if it goes well, then I feel like Monkey just stomps this entire game. They're better at pushing. They're stronger early. Like the Alchemist is maybe a little bit of an unknown, and their rotations could be very good with Earthshaker and Witch Doctor and Winter Wyvern. But I just like the Monkey draft a bit more.
I completely agree. I feel like the Aghanims upgrades aren't going to be as key of a factor here for Nip, and maybe they're fine with playing around with that. But the way we've seen both Team Secret and Monkey Business, I would say 2 of the most successful teams with the Alchemist, it has been playing around that Aghanim Scepter. Like you have the Witch Doctor, maybe you have the Queen of Pain, but I think it's unlikely. It's really just the Witch Doctor that there's value to.
Yeah, because for Quap the timing is so much more important. Like we talked about last game with the Necrophos, it's good at any stage. For Quap, that timing is a little more important, so it makes the whole dynamic a little different. They will try to set up a dual lane mid though to put some pressure on Miracle early on.
He also gave him the bottle as well. Era grabbed that bounty rune and immediately passed Limp a bottle. So with that block and the babysitting going on mid, I think Limp is going to have a pretty easy time here.
Yeah, I was looking at this draft and just going like, I felt once again Nip would have to get some like really surprising last picks to me in order to win the draft, because I was looking at the scenario and going like, what offlaner is actually going to take advantage of the minus armor that they're running, the potential Aghanim Scepter, and I couldn't really see an offlaner that would change my mind about the fact that Monkey Business won the draft. And the Earthshaker definitely doesn't change anything for me. Like the Earthshaker's a good pickup, but I still feel like it's just not going to be enough. Like, yeah, he's a good initiating hero against heroes like Juggernaut and SF, who are relatively squishy, dependent on their magic immunity, and the Chainstone of the Earthshaker can do a lot for you, but I think that's asking too much of an Earthshaker offlane.
I feel like he's kind of like a band-aid type solution to trying to stop the siege potential of Monkey Business. But you've got the Liquid Fire, you've got the Healing Ward that can sit in the back with the Shadow Fiend, especially if he has an Aegis to just stand in the front and kind of chip at tier 3 towers. We'll see Jonas in the bottom lane in a lot of trouble. Easy first blood for Big Daddy No Tail. Blade Fury under the tower, and we'll see if he can make it out here. No TP scroll. He's just going to eat through the trees. This is kind of awkward here.
They find. Well, he made a path for him.
Oh dear.
Oh my. He's just going to walk away? Easy as that?
Well, they may still be able to get, like, if they get a really good cask and a Fissure.
Nope.
No.
Okay, there's the Fissure.
Oh, he keeps canceling.
Oh
my god, that should have been such an easy escape.
Did the Fissure just barely block it and that was the pathing there?
Yes, okay. There's no way. Like, Big Daddy No Tail was looking at it and was like, I'm fine, I'll just run through this area, but it just... Pathways can be deceptive in that regard, so a
strikingly good Fissure there, just barely blocking off the retreat path. No, nicely done. That'll level it out.
Earthshaker's almost 4 now.
Yeah,
that was a pretty big gain.
Mid lane, still a little bit Quap favored, 7-1 compared to the 11-2, or now 12-2 on the Queen of Pain. So all that early help that she got is certainly paying off, at least for now. Early point in the Maledict as well. Last game, I think we saw that completely ignored by the Witch Doctor.
Okay, coming in mid.
Yep, absolutely. Miracle. He's in a lot of trouble here. Maledict will connect, and I think the curse should be enough to take him down if Lip doesn't get it, but Queen of Pain will just throw one more auto attack and get another kill up on the scoreboard.
I like this. Nip I think they're rotating better with Hanskin's Witch Doctor than they were with the Spirit Breaker. I felt like one of the big downsides is that Alchemist as a mid is actually relatively weak because he's a melee hero that it doesn't have the greatest armor and doesn't actually have the greatest HP pool either. In order to offset that incredible ultimate. right? But it's very easy to gank him pre-level 6, and they didn't do that once. Here, Hanskin's already shut down the SF.
Yeah, but the opportunity cost is not having access to those bounty runes, which we've seen the mid alchemists really utilize. Up top, we'll see a little fight break out, and Seal Kid, he'll be the victim. They start to poke the tombstone, but don't have the damage to bring it down, and the Winter Wyvern will die. Moon Meander getting very aggressive here. Pops forward, punches Handskin, and will kind of head back to safety.
Oh, they're ice armoring the tombstone. I forgot you could do that.
Oh, yeah.
To reduce attack speed and movement speed.
It's really smart, actually.
Ooh, clarity potion denied. Yeah, this dual offlane's working decently. 20 last hits on Moon Meander too. He's got the most in the game.
Yeah, quite good for Monkey Business. Very aggressive posture here, and he will take the curse. Cast won't find any bounces. Limp making the rotation as well. Moon Meander certainly going to die here. Manages to get off a Soul Rift, or Soul Rip, rather. But still dies. Queen of Pain making the most out of those rotations, and Jonas will try to find some efficiency by just taking over mid, getting some XP, and at least a couple of last hits here.
They've been getting good value out of Maledict, really. I mean, just a little, like you said before, Witch Doctor has been a really good ganker. He does work a lot better than Spirit Breaker in some ways. Spirit Breaker is better late game for setting up ganks and stuff, but like the early rotations that you can do, the different paths you can come from, it's not as easy to counter as something like a ward is. You see Witch Doctor coming, he can come in and out. There's a lot of different, he has a lot more offensive potential.
Yeah, for me, like this game was like 85% chance that Monkey Business would take this. Just gauging that game number 1 and feeling like Nip didn't do enough in the early game, but now seeing the rotations with Hanskin and the rotations of Limp as well have been a lot more aggressive and result being actually a lot more successful. I'm actually feeling like this is much more of an even game now. I'm really happy to see that Nip have brought a challenge to Monkey Business where I felt like before this was going to be just a 2-0.
That being said, though, the Monkey Business cores are getting a lot more out of this laning stage. Just looking at the raw CS difference.
It's going to be natural. I mean, you just SF. Like, an SF is always going to be ahead of people. No matter how much pressure he's feeling, he's always going to have that recovery.
Well, the real difference is the offlaners, isn't it? The Undying versus the Earthshaker.
Yeah.
Earthshaker has really good experience, though, so while he doesn't have a huge amount of CS, I don't think you can discount him too much.
True.
Trying to kill SF once again, this is going to be really easy. Earthshaker left.
And Scan up on the high ground there. Limp comes in to get things started. Seal Kid with a Splinter Blast as well. There's the cast. Oh my! Shadow Fiend just gets put 6 feet under in the blink of an eye. Now Fly trapped on the onside of the fissure, but it really makes no difference. Rotation from Jonas and Fan makes it an easy gank. It's a 2-for-0.
Nowhere is safe.
Have you seen a successful gank in that position from a Witch Doctor? Like, the range is so limited from that cliff area.
Yeah.
It's so rare to actually see that kind of like cliff advantage come to fruition. It's only heroes like Winter Wyvern and Tusk that are really able to utilize that Radiant side cliff. But
down bottom, Monkey Business making the most of it, putting a lot of pressure on this tier 1 tower with the Liquid Fire, the Healing Ward, and now Big Daddy's taking over as the leading last hitter at 36 CS.
But going back to your point about the offlaner, this is one of the big downsides of the draft of Nip is that once again I felt like they didn't draft a hero that could deal with the Undying in the laning phase.
Yeah.
They're doing better this time around, obviously. Last time they were just like, okay, Animage, just suffer, right? And this time around they do actually have, well, they're just actually being much more active in their ganking potential, plus I feel like their heroes are a bit better. Like, Maledicts actually takes advantage of, like, the very high amount of damage that an Undying can soak up. But it is still a problem because, the Alchemist is actually relatively, for a strength hero, low HP. He can right-click him down, I think.
Down bottom, Big Daddy, he'll survive for now. Does get him with a fissure, perfectly timed indeed. There, and Splinter Blast, Dragon on Dragon action. Will just be a singleton kill on the Juggernaut. Very nice for NIP. That's huge for the
such a
Earthshaker.
sick play. That Echo Slam, I was like, alright man, he's gonna get spun on, he's just gonna die, but oh man, that was so sick.
Yeah, he got it at the max range of Aftershock as well. So the fact that he got that extra bit of damage and stun duration made the world a difference there to Jonas and Fan.
Well, Shaker's got a pretty good bit of farm going his way now. Soul Ring and Tranquils at 8 minutes.
Usually you just see Earthshakers sacrifice themselves in the offlane, but he's actually excelled. It's really surprising. He profited so well from that early death of his, actually.
We should mention that the Earthshaker, the fact that he has gotten so impressively ahead, like he's made really good plays, but it also has been off of the mistakes of Monkey Business. And I think naturally Monkey Business should have been much farther ahead in their laning phase just because of the offlaner difference. But Nip doing a really good job taking advantage of this. Monkey are actually going to do some rotations of their own. They know they should shut down Era.
Oh, Omni Slash after the Tombstone comes down. Blade Fury as well. Aaron's in a lot of trouble. He'll be the first victim of this fight, but Moon Meander could be going down second. Indeed he will. It's a 1-for-1 as NIP focused the Tombstone, but Jakiro has made the rotation as well. Ice Path connects on a few heroes. Lip, aggressive blink forward. Scream, still holding on to the Sonic Wave for now, and will let them retreat.
Jakiro's really strong right now. He got so many levels. This is actually a really fast level 6 for him.
Dire Courier.
He doesn't have the best combo for his ultimate, but his damage potential right now is very good. His armor is really high. His base strength is very, very high. So I feel like Jakiro is going to be able to contribute a lot right now. He can shift to a lane with Liquid Fire wherever Nip is not, and he can take that tower very fast, and it's going to force Nip to rotate.
Yeah, definitely. How is the Alchemist farming? Right now, he's pretty low on net worth overall. Some of that is the byproduct of all the pressure coming his way. Now getting that second point in Grievel's Greed and just power treads. So far, not really too big of an impact.
Do you think he goes for like the...
I was thinking like Solar Crest Blink might be what he goes for, but...
It's alright against Jug and SF, I guess, but...
Synergizes with the Witch Doctor as well.
I just feel like Radiance is so good right now.
Yeah, and I think there is a serious downside to going the early aggression builds with this Alchemist, because you don't have a better, like, before, when you see Alchemists do that kind of build, they usually have some sort of carry that is able to take over the one position, right? So the mid Alchemist builds it because he has a safe lane farmer. Here in this game, Alchemist is the be-all, end-all carry. In fact, he's so heavily the one position, because I don't feel the Queen of Pain, unless he gets really far ahead, is going to be able to contribute as much in the late game, that he really needs to be ahead quite dramatically of both the Juggernaut and the SF in farm. So I agree that Radiance definitely should be the build. There's also the downside. You have to remember the Ice Armor, which makes your Unstable Concoction nuke, that whole idea of minus armor mixed with physical damage nuke, a lot less viable.
That's a really good point as well. We'll see a smoke rotation from Nip here. They'll find the initiation onto Miracle. Fissure will block him out. Channels the ultimate, gets off the double Requiem. Does a decent bit of damage, but his teammates are nowhere to be found, and it will just be a quick pick for NIP. On Skin, could be walking into the danger zone here. Big Daddy does have an Omni Slash available, but can't get into range. And now it is Monkey Business that will retreat to behind their tier 1.
I don't think he can take this fight right now. I mean, they did some really good rotations and stuff like that, but if they keep getting their heroes picked off, then it's not going to work. And Nip is rotating so much better than them right now. It's not necessarily that they're super far ahead, it's just they're rotating better. They're showing up where or where Monkey doesn't expect it, and they're getting those kills.
And I think they're in a way that aggression is now forcing Monkey Business to do what they're doing now. Like, they can't just sit back and tank all the ganks. They have to actually try and be aggressive of their own. It is going to be the medallion builds. This may just be the tank build. I'm not actually sold on the Blink Dagger, like, unless he plans on just hunting down the SF a lot. I don't see that much value in it. He may just go like the Solar Crest, like, get the tank item, and maybe... What was the build from Eternal Envy? I think he went Crimson Guard, but I don't see any. I don't see enough value in Crimson Guard for this game.
I guess he did late. I mean, just getting a simple medallion at the start, I don't think is terrible. Yeah. Because it will increase your jungle farming speed by a lot. You put it on the bigger of the two creeps. That one dies a lot faster, similar to the smaller one. And just going into Radiance after this, I think, if he's jungling a lot, I think it's a great build. Maybe he needs a quelling as well, though, but I feel like not that many elks by quelling.
And of course, on Dire side, it does give them some Roche potential if they are able to get a few pickoffs.
Yeah, at best, if you're going to go another stat item behind the Alchemist, I almost feel like SNY would be the item, just because it's a decent all-around and relatively cheap to build into.
And one of Era's favorite items, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I agree. I think Radiance should be his next choice. No, there's too much value in Solar Crest. You don't just go just the medallion.
Really?
If anybody's thinking that, I think so. You've got two different
it's half of a relic though. Like the value on it is great if you're fighting, but what about the farm value that you get out of Radiance? It makes your next item come in like 3 minutes. 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And the team fight is so good. It's half the evasion. It's almost all the evasion. 17% versus 25%.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like delaying it by 1800 is maybe too much of an investment if you're not going for that. I'm fully sacrificing build.
Too high up of an opportunity cost. We'll see initiation here on the Moon Meander. Winner's Curse to get it started. The follow-up Sonic Wave will be enough to finish him down, as well as the Death Ward from the Witch Doctor. Now Omni Slash bounces around, does some decent damage to Seal Kid. Chain Frost as well, doing now big damage to Seal Kid. He falls to the Macro Pyre of the Jakiro. Big Daddy locked in the tree line. He'll be the next one to fall. It's a 2-for-1 so far as Fly tries to TP home, and no slam. I'll finish him off. Jonas and Fun getting another one. Make it 3 as NIP take a big fight in the top lane.
The fact that Jonas Savant is about to pick up a Blink Dagger probably like 15 and a half, 16 and a half minutes in is incredibly impressive. Jonas Savant has always been, I feel, one of the more standout players of NiP. He is oftentimes like the biggest playmaker on their team, whereas I feel like Limp's performance can be a little hit and miss sometimes, and Era is obviously, as all carries are, a bit more dependent on farm. Jonas Savant is able to do a lot with very little, and you're seeing it here. Like, this is a really insane performance. I would have guessed if I looked at the laning phase setup and the way this game in my head would have gone, I would have imagined like a 23-minute Blink Dagger.
It's gonna be 14.
But yeah, 14-minute Blink Dagger is pretty absurd.
That's so fast. I found the Jakiro Macropyre setup's done. It's Cold Embrace.
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly right.
Never thought about that counter before, but it's decent. It basically counteracts the heal.
Yeah, and then when he pops out of it, you can just lay down the ice path, so it's a guaranteed stun immediately after.
It's like, wait, I thought ice was good for me.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Omni Slash on cooldown here, but Big Daddy will wrap around behind the tower, give Era the chop just to scare him off, to make some space for his team to continue sieging this tier 1. Liquid Fire doing some pretty good damage here, now maxed out by crit. And this will be an easy tower kill here for the Radiant.
Pretty standard build on Jakiro. Been seeing this for over a year.
Yep.
Crit oftentimes will max out his Ice Path second, just because they do push and team fight a lot. If you're playing more of a passive Jakiro, it's generally better to max out Dual Breath. So, but since they are pushing and they have a great push lineup, it's going to be Ice Path for sure.
Dual Breath is one of those really like diverse spells that scales really well if you want to max it, but it's also just a one-point wonder because it has such an amazing slow at level 1.
Yeah, it's really not bad at all. 28% for 5 seconds. Damage over time can be useful just to interrupt things like bottles or blink daggers.
There's
a
the
lot
Solar
of good things.
Crest.
Okay.
What's up?
Alright, I'm wrong.
I would say that for me it was the fact that there was 2 right-click cores that I think the Solar Crest has a lot of value in it, but I think you make a good point, Purge, in that there is like so much value in the Radiance that
now they have to fight,
I think
right?
Arrow would probably consider going for the Radiance and just having the medallion if it wasn't for the fact that they're fighting so much.
Oh, now they find Miracle down bottom. The Orchid comes out, as does the Sonic Wave, but so far they don't quite have the damage to finish him off. Omni Slash to the backside does a lot of damage to Limp. The Queen of Pain falls first in this fight. Now the mech used by Monkey Business will help heal up the Shadow Fiend, and Seal Kid will be in the danger zone. Not even going to be able to Cold Embrace, and wouldn't have saved him anyhow. A 2 for the other way. Here's Monkey Business, get a couple up on the scoreboard, and all of a sudden Shadow Fiend taking over as the leading net worth carry.
I feel like the Winter Wyvern actually had an opportunity to Cold Embrace the SF for the kill on the SF, because I think he was surrounded by 3 or 4 heroes.
Or Winter's Curse, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, Winter's Curse. But he would have needed to use it before the heal and the Undying. I saw an opportunity, but maybe he was just like, I'm not sure if I could get that kill, and it is a relatively decent cooldown that maybe he felt like it was better to keep it intact for the next fight.
Yeah, you know, I think they just needed to stop him from moving in that fight. Maybe it would have been the solution, because as soon as he ran away from the Quap and slowed down the right-clicking, it made all the difference there.
Now another fight gonna break out here. Ice Path will just connect onto Era. Big Daddy TP's in. Nice fissure to break it up, as well as the cast bouncing through. We'll stop at Moon Meander, but the defensive stun's enough for NIP to make a clean disengage.
I'm sure Monkey Business knew, but that was also the reveal of the Blink Dagger, right? When he did that very awkward blink forward.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
maybe he could have seen a better opportunity if he waited it down. I'm not sure what the blink forward was meant to do for him in that situation. Maybe they could have gotten that surprise, but at the same time, Monkey Business should know they've given up 2 kills to him in lane. He got the 3rd pick off on Lich in top. If you're looking at his farm, you should judge that he has a Blink Dagger before 20.
And maybe they lost an opportunity there, but you're still looking at an Earthshaker fishing for kills for like a 5 extra minutes more than he generally does. So I think he's still in an okay place despite missing that opportunity there on the SF.
How do you guys think Big Daddy is going to build the jug this game? He's got Phase Boots drums to get things started. I think it was him yesterday that we saw go for that Basher Blink build that was kind of interesting. I wonder what he's going for here.
I've seen a lot of blinks in China.
Yeah.
On jugs, and Battle Furies as well. They built Battle Fury a lot, but I don't know if they need a Battle Fury to go late game since they already have better late game with both SF and the jug. So maybe just standard build. He could go SNY Scotty or something, or Blink Basher. I don't think it's terrible.
I'm looking at the Blink and I'm going like there isn't. I I think there's less value in the Blink Basher for you to be able to take out like one of the cores, but there are a lot of high impact supports. Like both the Winter Wyvern and the Witch Doctor are pretty high impact. I guess the biggest concern is that if you could get Cold Embrace countered.
Oh, here we go. Fight gonna break out in the Radiant Jungle. Limp blinks forward first. Orchid on to crit, but there's the Omni Slash. They bring down Limp first. They'll trade 1-for-1 with the Jakiro. Seal Kid stuck in the tree line. We'll try to TP out, but no. Big Daddy gets the Blade Dance proc, and we'll find the kill. A 2-for-1 as NIP are the aggressors. They get shut down and open up a Roche possibility here for Monkey Business.
Nip just keeps assuming that heroes are going to be solo, and the response time of Monkey has been really good. And I think it's because they've been moving together a lot. I haven't really been watching that aspect of it, but it makes a big difference against a gank lineup like Nip has. They know that Nip isn't going to do as well super late game, so they're farming a little bit less efficiently than normal because they just stick around each other, and it just keeps paying off.
Here we go. Roche goes down. Jonas may be thinking about a Blink Echo, but he will hold it for now. Shadow Fiend grabs the Aegis, and Nip will just walk away after seeing that they didn't have any vision in the pit.
Boy, if only he knew. I think that would have actually been a great opportunity for Jonas and Fun just to make that blind jump. Because I'm really concerned, like that one pickoff I think sets Monkey Business really far ahead, because then they're able to get the Roshan. I feel like that was one of the biggest advantages of running the Alchemist on Dire side, is that the Alchemist allows you to be able to make up for oftentimes a period of time where the enemy is stronger than you are because you haven't fully facilitated. He is going to go for the Blink Solar Crest build.
Sorry, man, you were the most right here.
Right.
I was most wrong, Cap was semi-right.
Every so often you get him right, man. Been watching a lot of Dota the last few days.
I don't think I like this build though, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know that it's the best. It's just sort of what I thought it would fit the NIP style that they like to go for.
I guess they can gank with it, and at least they don't have to worry about like a 4 protect 1 strat, essentially. They can just go around getting kills, and a stun is going to make a really big difference in these fights, but we should be able to see this based on his skill build. If he was going to go Radiance, he'd have more Grievous speed.
That's for sure.
This will put you in a position where you have to get successful ganks, which he will not get here.
Oh, Limp, he actually blinks forward, puts the Orchid on to Big Daddy, but Jakiro's there with that newly fashioned Yule Scepter right into the Ice Path, Macro Pyre, Chain Frost, they bring it down, but Echo Slam from Jonas on 4. Out comes the mech, Big Daddy's still alive, that Healing Ward is down and doing some serious work, they'll finally finish it off, but it may be too late. Ice Path will trap in Jonas and Fawn as well as Era. The Slitter Blast, yeah, it's not going to do much. It's going to be NIP trading 1 for 3. A close call, it seemed like the perfect Echo, but they just didn't have the damage.
Well, we've seen this story from Big Daddy before. He is obviously very well skilled at micro, and that was something that he showcased last time they played Juggernaut, is that he always kept the Healing Ward up, and that Healing Ward in that position actually saved that fight so dramatically from Monkey Business. It goes to show you that the value in that ability. But Nip, I was surprised when Limp turned around and threw out the Sonic Wave. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
you could have blinked away instead, but he was obviously thinking, okay, I'm gonna die here, but the Echo Slam will win the fight. The problem is now Nip, like, because they committed to this whole entire ganking style build of the Alchemist, they had to actually get successful ganks. They had to win that fight, because now the Alchemist is just going to fall behind, and Alchemist on even grounds is not going to beat out an SF or a Juggernaut.
Right.
And again, they have no backup core to really take over the Alchemist's position. So I'm not sure what they're going to do now. I would almost say, like, you're going to get to a dramatic point where you may have to think about farming up an Aghanim Scepter on Alchemist and give it to the Witch Doctor just to try and stall out this game, because I don't see Nip ever being able to take control of this game now. After they got the pick off near Roshan, and then that failed gank at top lane, Monkey Business, for me, have like a 90% victory now.
It's looking really good, definitely.
It's also interesting to see the Yules on the Jakiro. That's
not at all, man. That's standard as hell.
Well, it was, but I brought it up the other day and somebody criticized me because of the range now. It's just so hard for him to get in and initiate with it, but it still feels really strong.
No, it's still, I still feel it's absolutely necessary to have. It gives you a guaranteed ice path on somebody. It turns you from like a support that is all skill shots to having something reliable.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm glad to see it still being utilized. And this is what we were talking about earlier. This is Miracle just standing on the high ground with the Aegis, and they can slow siege this tower so easily. The Healing Ward right behind him. Crit will continue to lob in the Liquid Fires, and this is an easy tier 3, and there's not too much Nip can do about it. They do have the Echo Slam back available, but the Blink Dagger is getting broken by that pesky zombie, so he can't initiate. Here we go. Seal Kid manages to get off the Cold Embrace after the Omni Slash does big damage. It'll set up for an easy raise from Miracle. Now the racks are exposed. No glyph for the Dire. All they can do here is hope for the big Echo Slam. Jonas trying to line it up. He gets off the fissure, will block in Miracle. but still plenty of time on the Aegis. Guardian Greaves used from the low ground.
Oh my
Monkey
God.
Business are just handling this so well.
Their sieging dedication is just so good.
I mean,
he
they've
still
got
hasn't died.
Healing Ward, Ice Armor, the heal from Soul Rip. I could never see this unstable concoction actually being a really viable nuke.
And just look at the positioning here. They're so spread out. There's no way for this Earthshaker to get an opening.
You're also talking about heroes that actually naturally have high amount of armor. They're both agility heroes, right? So you throw Ice Armor on there, they're both going over easy 20.
Okay, Fissure will kind of separate this fight. It does like the Shadow Fiend on the high ground. Witch Doctor ulti will be interrupted by the Ice Path. Shadow Fiend just brings down the Winter Wyvern on their high ground. The barracks have fallen, and this is starting to feel like the beginning of the end here, boys. NIP are in so much trouble. There's the Echo, connects on 5 heroes. Monkey Business could actually be in some trouble here. The Jonas falls, and there's just too much healing, too much sustainability. They will get rid of the Aegis and kill the Lich, but that's all they get out of it.
Oh, that looks so good. Again, another great Echo Slam out of Earthshaker, but just not quite enough damage.
If they had tagged Witch Doctor ult, maybe they could have done something there, but Handscan, they'll just get finished off by the Shadow Fiend.
I felt like the Unstable Concoction was really short time too, because it did very little damage. Might just be Ice Armor though.
There's also the fact that, I mean, that would have been like a potential wipe on Monkey Business if they had the Winter Wyvern. But the Winter Wyvern dying to the SF without being able to get off like a Winter's Curse earlier. Like that was, I'm not sure what happened. I didn't actually see it, but the fact that he died, and you can't afford to have that. Like that is your only ability to defend the base at that point in time is getting a wombo combo. And you saw the way they had 5 heroes potentially with a good Winter's Curse after that Echo Slam, making sure there would be no like recovery heal, and they could actually take out some of the critical cores on the side of Monkey Business, and maybe they would have been able to outnumber the SF and take them down a secondary time. But it's just a combination of like I felt like Monkey Business did win the draft. But now I also see places where NIP are failing to execute, and this is the NIP that, as much as I love watching NIP, they are kind of like almost hot and cold in a way. I think they're like their team fight is great, but they just sometimes fail to find the openings.
Winter's Curse comes out, but Jonas was put inside of the Yule Scepter. He will get off the Fissure, but again with the sustainability, the Soul Rip, followed by the Guardian Greaves. Everyone's topped off. This is an easy fight for Monkey Business at this point. Steel Kid will get isolated off to the side in the Cold Embrace. They're going to be able to bring down Jonas. I mean, this Shadow Fiend is just massive. Witch Doctor gets off the ulti, but it will be interrupted there by the Chain Frost. 3-0. Monkey Business just shake it off as they head towards the Dire base. You can see on the mini-map, they're ready to go all in here.
It was a good read by them just to smoke into their own jungle, because when you're that far behind, it's very common to farm aggressively and then wait for somebody to passively farm the safe lane, because the general idea is, well, they're probably either going to go 5-man mid to finish off what they started, or they're going to go passively farm for a little bit to wait for the next Roche. But instead they said, alright, they're probably going to farm our jungle, smoke in, see what we can get. It was a really nice play by Monkey there.
Well, now Monkey just head to the top tier 3 tower. Dire side limited on options here. No buyback on the Witch Doctor or the Shaker, though they do have the Echo Slam when the Shaker comes up. Tier 3 falls, and I think this lane of barracks will be down before they can even use the Echo.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, this is the upper bracket, so if NIP falls here 0-2, they could still come back and make it to the Major. Now Limp comes in, double damager and all, pops the BKB, but there's an Omni Slash ready and waiting with his name on it. It'll take him from full to 0 in the blink of an eye as he dies once more without a buyback available. Oh boy.
Thanks.
NIP don't even like I'm just looking at the scenario and going like, how can NIP actually come back? And I can't see like the perfect Echo Slam, perfect Winter's Curse, all of that. Go ahead.
What is Buy Ags on Alchemist, you give it to Earthshaker, because Jonas and Fan keeps grabbing 5-man dunks, man.
Okay.
And he's always like 200 damage short on every single hero to kill him.
And then SF as well as Juggernaut both buy Mantas. And they both pop their Mantas just before the Echo Slam with Aghanim.
And there's a lot of zombies there.
I mean, Jung's got the Manta already, so we're halfway there, boys.
All right. We don't have the Ags on Elk, though.
No, he went for the Sanj instead, and now there's even a Crimson up on the Undying. You thought they were tanky before.
They need a pipe, really. It's a little scary that they don't have a pipe, in my opinion. Yeah. The Crimson's great, but they have a Glimmer on Lich, I guess, but pipe is the only way that NIP gets kills here. It's all magic damage. You saw that Unstable Concoction with Solar Crested Shadow Fiend. He took like 100 damage. I was like, that's really disappointing.
Yep.
You stunned him, I guess.
NIP move into the Roche pit, but Big Daddy, he just hops in, uses the Blade Fury straight away, and now this fight from NIP is broken up. Good ult here. The Winner's Curse comes out on a Big Daddy. The Echo Slam as well. They get the Lich as well as the Juggernaut. That's something for NIP.
All their ults.
Can they get some more though? Limp pops the BKB. Cold Embrace will buy him a little bit of time. Now BKB used by Miracle. Shadow Rays will finish off the Queen of Pain, and Steel Kid, he'll just die to right clicks. Miracle uses the ultimate. Requiem of Souls will connect on 2. Era with nowhere to go. He's just going to stand his ground and fall. Now the Yules put up on the Witch Doctor. Handscan's going to get taken out. Ends up being a 4 for 2, and that's it. Good game is called. NIP will fall 2-0 to Monkey Business, which means Monkey Business have secured themselves a slot at the first major.
You know, I was laughing because I was just about to say like, oh, well, NIP just proved that they can win a 2 versus 5, but they can't win a 3 versus 5, unfortunately.
They did use all of their ultimates to kill those 2 support heroes. There was a Jug Lich or something like that.
It was a bad idea to keep going forward for more kills, but at the same time, it was like the only thing they could do, right? Because those 2 kills aren't going to change anything. You needed to actually push for more and see if you could get actually almost like a full team wipe just to get a handle on that game, because you weren't going to get a better opportunity than that.
Yeah, even though I managed to call the Alchemist build, I really agree with you guys. I think when you're in that kind of position where you are the ultimate endgame carry as the Alchemist, you just have to go for something that will let you get ahead and stay ahead throughout the mid game. And Era was never really on top of the net worth chart at all that game.
Yeah, it's the safe lane Alch. You get less bounty runes, you don't go Radiance, you get pressured a little bit. It's much less farm.
It was tough.
I really feel like they were perhaps just a little bit inexperienced in how to fully utilize the Alchemist strategy. I didn't really feel like their draft backed up the Alchemist pick that much. It was just like something they took away from Monkey Business. And I'm also a bit concerned about like game